we keep on seeing this kuchanganyikiwa, or what we call confusion in UDA government. Because you want to make a law to start defining things, defining your name. My name is Ruku. Now my name means this. My name is William Ruto. My name means this. Because you're failed. You see, what is there to define about demonstration? What is there to define about assembly? What is there to define about somebody who's unarmed? What is there to define about violence? If you read the penal code, section 77 of the penal code, it tells you what you should do to avoid any kind of violence demonstrations. If you read something like section 55 of the Public Orders Act, all these laws already exist. Kitu ambayo UDA inakimbia kutoka, why they're running from a very serious issue here, Zubeida, which we haven't explored since we came here. Kutoka saa 12 tumekaa na ndugu yangu Ruku hapa hatujaongea kitu hapa. Why is it that people are going to demonstrate? Because if you deal with the root cause of why people are going to demonstrate, then demonstrations won't even be necessary in the first place. And we know very well that people are going to demonstrate because the UDA government promised the Asla nation, the people of this country, a number of things that they have refused to adhere to and to achieve. And because of those lies, because of those failed promises, people are telling them that we employed you and you have failed on your job, you have been sleeping on your job, and these things are true, Zubeida. Even now I've seen it on news that Infotrack has just confirmed that there is evidence that shows very clearly that the high cost of living in Kenya today has been caused by issue of high taxation. Number two, it has been caused by high wastage in government, which is being done by UDA government. This is evidence that even if you choose to run away from, it will come and eat you. Address this issue of high cost of living, because kuna mama mboga ambayo leo hawezi afford ugali kwa meza. Kuna kijana ambaye anatoka Kibera ama anatoka Mathare ambayo anatembea kilomita 5 ama 6 kwenda kazini kwa sababu umeongeza bei ya mafuta. Address these issues so that the country can move forward. Don't run away from them and tell us that you want to make a law about defining your name, defining the constitution, defining what a bottle means. Senator, this is not making any sense to any Kenyan.
Senator, wewe binafsi unaodhani kwamba tatizo ni mapungufu katika sheria au uhaba wa sheria au ni matatizo ambayo yanawakabili wa Kenya ambayo yamewasababisha kwenda barabarani? Do you think this bill will bring solutions to what the Kenyans are going through right now?
Thank you for inviting me, Zubeida. This is a wonderful studio. I think when I came last, you had not, it was under construction.
Thank you.
I think this is beautiful, and KTN, you are doing a wonderful job. Secondly, thank you for inviting me. I think Kenyans deserve the right to information and discussion. Unfortunately, my apologies for coming in late. I can see my brothers taking it a note higher. Secondly is that tonight it is shocking that Azimio One Kenya Alliance have decided to suspend the maandamano. Yet we wanted to finalize and crush political conmanship and blackmail and intimidation in this country. But in that aspect, I want to say two things. One, the Parliament under Article 93, the power of legislation rests with Parliament. Parliament can amend, can repeal, can make law, the only aspect that Parliament cannot do is not to interpret. That is why we make laws that can be interpreted by the High Court under the Constitution. And therefore, I think it is within the right of Mheshimiwa Ruku to push any piece of legislation. And so be it, because we are talking about demonstrations that whenever it happens, Zubeida, it has become a problem. Whenever demonstrations happen in this country, it is hooliganism, it is criminality. How do you explain Imara here, where it's your neighboring? You can't move from Mombasa Road, they destroy expressway. So I think to allow our courts to dispense justice in a very fair way is to have a law. In fact, I would expect Mheshimiwa Ruku to also include the aspect of compensation, and also people who sign and write to OCS to be criminally culpable and to pay compensation to the businesses and lives that are lost during the demonstrations.
It is there.
And I think that is a brilliant idea, so that by the time I'm taking a permit to do a demonstration, I must be aware that there is a responsibility as a responsible citizen. I agree that under Article 37, every Kenyan has a right to demonstrate. Fortunately, I have not seen Senator Eddie Okech on demos, and I allowed him, although I know he's recuperating, but even before he went to hospital, I never see him. I only see him making noise in media and other things. But the point I'm trying to make is under Article 37, Zubeida, it should be peaceful. And I've had my brothers in Azimio One Kenya reading that article upside down. They say we have a right to demonstrate, but they leave the part peacefully. Because unarmed. Because what you have been saying, tell me what happened in Expressway. Allow me to, I'm making opening remarks. And in parliamentary setting, when a member is making maiden speech, you don't interrupt until they make...
You can't make some things that don't...
No, I'm just making my case so that you can respond. Is that Zubeida, what we are, this is criminality. What can you explain about Expressway? What offense?
Yeah.
Why are you banning roads and yet your taxes and mine are being used to fix those roads? If there is a problem, finally, so that I don't take much of your time because I know you have so many guests, is that the issues we are aware. He has said about high tax. He is being selective because he's not telling the country that the Finance Act was suspended. So which high tax are we talking about? The high cost of living was perpetuated by his political godfather, Raila Odinga, and Uhuru Kenyatta one day. So I never saw Eddie, although he had not been elected, I can forgive him. I never saw him even as a young man demonstrating in Migori saying, why is Unga 230 shillings? They never demonstrated. But William Ruto, even 8 months, even a child takes 9 months to be born. William Ruto has not been in office sufficient enough to those queries, because one, he doesn't even have his own budget. Let me conclude. Let me conclude, Zubeida. You have given them time and I've been patient. And relax, my brother. I'm here at the full hall. So relax, I'll be here up to midnight. The first thing he has never had is this is his first budget. No. Number two, this is the first Finance Act he wants to implement to raise local revenue for in terms. So what I can say, Zubeida, in an upshot, so that I save your time. What Azimio One Kenya lands, Uhuru, Raila, and Eddie are only looking for power. They are looking for handshake. There is nothing about Kenyans.
Briefly, before we go
very fast, Zubeida, my brother Cherarkey here is taking Kenyans for a ride. And I'm telling you that Kenyans are very smart.
Why am I riding them to?
Because you're riding them to hell because whatever you promise you cannot be able to deliver.
But this is the thing. This is
Cherarkey is talking about a suspension of Finance Act. When the biggest element of Finance Act that is affecting Kenyans today, Cherarkey, and you need to know that the moment you have touched the cost of fuel and energy in general, just wait. Why are you becoming a noisemaker? And I was listening to you.
I'm questioning you because you are now the one
submit.
Let me submit.
Let me submit.
You are the one who is.
You will come back. You will come back.
I'm
coming to that. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Let's be honest.
The thing is, Zubeida, I think.
When was the last time when you fueled your car?
No, just a few minutes ago.
How much was it?
Yeah, so
like
he doesn't know because he's using government money even now.
I'm not using
government money. Even now he's leaving the country to go out.
You cannot allow him
money, but this is the thing.
No,
I haven't finished my submission. Don't be a noisemaker. Don't be a noisemaker.
You know you cannot mislead.
Don't disrupt.
Let me put things in. One, I don't own a car.
You are disrupting my submission.
I'm not disrupting, my brother. Can I correct you?
You can correct me.
I am using my personal vehicle.
Before I say what I want to say, the thing is, Zubeida, when the finance bill was signed by the president,
and I will answer you. I just feel my car. I know the pricing.
Cherarkey, be a little bit civilized in debates.
I'm not being uncivilized.
When the bill was signed, part of the bill was the 50% raise in terms of the tax, the VAT on fuel, which now they brought up to 16%. Now, what these people don't understand is that when you raise anything to do with energy, which to be specific fuel in consumption in this country, you affect all the sectors in this economy. That is why today, Cherarkey does not understand that there's a hustler who works in Parklands and comes from Donholm, but is forced to go to work every single day, 5 kilometers, walking to that place. Why is this happening? Despite the suspension, EPRA has ended up implementing what has been declared unconstitutionally constituted in this act. He says as if he doesn't live in this country. Yeah. And that's why I'm telling you.
Let me hand over to Manzu for a few minutes and then we'll come back. We'll continue with this conversation until 11. So let me hand over to Manzu.
I am living in Kenya. I wanted to answer, but you have to say shutting me down.
Implemented this and your president.
You can't tell me the price right now is the same as it was last year.
No, it was not. It's not the same because there are many factors.
Because it was implemented. The bill was implemented, right?
There are many factors that affect you.
There's no factors.
There is the exchange rate.
Let me hand over to Manzu.
Just one minute.
Now you are
the biggest element that defines violence. Okay, you can talk about whatever thing you want, but where there is a loss of life, that is why we go to funerals. We pay tribute to our people when they die. We pay tribute to their families and we support them during the time of grief and death. The biggest element of violence, Zubeida, is somebody who has died. In this Maandamano, the highest level of violence that we have seen, we have not seen a single policeman who is dead. We have seen people who have been killed by police,
let me hand over to Manzu for a few minutes and then we'll come back.
We have seen a president.
Kindly allow me.
We have seen a president. Let me just finish my submission. Who praises the police for having killed the people of Kenya.
Kindly allow me.
You cannot misguide us that this is a
you know, it's jumping.
Naomba ni